Hello again, this is Rose Ribbons Crochet and Crafts. My name is Yawa, and today I'm going to talk about what has become one of my very favorite yarns. This is Loops and Threads Payette, and I just love this yarn. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Oh, I can't tell you how much. Um, it's yarn with it's got like shiny filament wrapped around regular yarn. Like this is a silver color. I don't know if you can see it. How it it's kind of gray silver, and it's also got the sequences. And when you make things with it, it's like wow. For example, okay, this is the red. I don't have a bundle of the red available, but you see how the sequences just sparkle. It's very different from yarn that oh wait, that's the same one. Okay, here's yarn that just has the sparkly filament, but it's a whole different look when it has the filament, the shiny filament, and the sequence. Um, I made this. When did I make this? I made this. This is fairly recent. I made this one. Oh, maybe about 2, 3 years ago, and then this is the most recent one I made with the same yarn, and I used one of my favorite stitches, which I developed from another stitch, and I'm gonna talk about that as well. The only thing with this yarn is if you're making tassels, it tends to unravel at the end. So I made a shawl. Let me get that shawl. Okay, here it is in the gold. So this is a shawl I made over the summer, and the tassels, it looked better with the tassels than without it. I wasn't going to do tassels because the ends unravel. So what I had to do was I put a little knot. You see there's a knot. Each strand of the tassel is knotted so that it won't unravel. And you know, it takes a lot of time to do that, but it was necessary because I wanted the tassels and I didn't want the tassels to unravel. Incidentally, I made one of these for the wife of a friend of mine. He wanted to give her a special gift for the 25th wedding anniversary, so he bought one of these from me. And that so I do not think I'll be making any more of these. It was quite a time-consuming project, but I will be posting the pattern. I think I'll post the pattern on Etsy because I'm doing so many other projects now that I'm just not gonna be doing anymore. Not too much more production work, so that's how that goes. And here's another color of that Payette yarn. It's just so beautiful. And this is that same stitch, but I noticed that with the darker colors, you really can't see that design very well. For these yarns, I wanted a stitch that was not gonna just be like a puff stitch or a cluster stitch where the yarn is just, you know, all wrapped around itself. I wanted a stitch that was gonna actually display how pretty the yarn was. So it's, you know, the stitch was customized basically just for this yarn. And it tends to work out better with the lighter colors because you can't really see that lovely, you know, the fan. It's called feather and fan. So, but this is a modified feather and fan. You can find the original feather and fan on YouTube, and I'll actually show you what that looks like. Okay, so this was my practice piece when I was first learning the feather and fan, and I had wanted to learn this like last year, but you know, never got around to it. So finally I got around to it this year. So the actual stitch is it's single crochets at the bottom and then double crochets, and you see how close when you do the double crochet you don't really get that much distance, and then when I was going along making it, and I said, oh, let me see how it looks using the treble stitch. So I changed to the treble, and I said, oh, it looks better with the treble. But the only thing is, when you do it this way, you're going to get a wrong side and a right side. Like this is the wrong side, and then this is the right side. So I didn't want that effect for the shawl. I wanted it to be the same on both sides. So this was actually the first piece when I was doing the modified stitch, and it's not as long as the other. It's just a short piece. I'm probably gonna finish it off and make it into something else. This was the first piece with the modification of the stitch, and you can see how it how the longer stitches just displays the yarn better. So and it's the same on both sides, you see. So that's not an issue. So that's a light color. Oh, my cord is not long enough. Oh. Bear with me. Oh gosh, where's the white? Oh, here it is. Okay, and that's the white. You see the lighter colors, you can just see that that feather fan pattern easier. So this is the copper and brown. I like that. It's pretty. It's autumn, but you know it's also a dark color, so you can't see that design as easily as with the lighter yarns. You see. So. And also you can see it easier with the gold, that pattern with the gold. Oh, where's the red? Where'd the red go? Where's the red one? Okay, here's the red one. Right? So, yeah, and you can see, I just love the way it sparkles and glitters. And I mean, you could, this is let me see, how many rows is this? I think this is just, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, this is just 12 rows. The big shawl is 30 rows. 30 rows, yeah. And I counted it, I think it was 6,120 stitches or something like that. I was just curious about how many stitches it was. Now that doesn't include the rows that you have to take out. This stitch takes a little practice. It really takes a little practice, because if you mess up the previous row, you won't know until you get to the next row, and then you have to go back. You have to unravel all that and fix it before you can go forward, because once you lose the stitch sequence, you know, it's a wrap. You gotta start over. So this is one of those stitches that you have to really pay attention to do it. But it's so worth it. Oh my gosh, I just love this scarf. You know, I love the golden one. I'm making a blue one. Where's that blue one? Oh, that's the blue one. Okay, this still even has the stitch markers in it, but it's gonna be gorgeous when it's done. This, I'm just making a scarf. I don't think I'll be doing any more 30 rows. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see, because there's so many other projects I want to work on. So, but yeah. And when you're doing this, I use the stitch markers because it helps me know if I'm on track. Like, if I get to a certain point and I say, oh well, you know, by this point it's supposed to be this, you know, it's supposed to look this way at this point, the stitch markers help me to stay on track. So now this particular stitch is done in multiples of 17 plus 4. Yeah, the original one is 17 plus 3, because 3 is a turning chain for the double crochet, and I changed it to treble, so you chain 4 for a treble. So this is multiples of 17 plus 4. So each one of these stitch markers is 17. I think I took one out at one point. I think it fell out here. Okay, so 17, 17, 17. So I think I have 18 groups of 17 for the length of this. So yeah, I can't wait to finish this one. I like the blue. The blue is so pretty. I did something else in blue. Let me see if I can grab it. Let me get all this stuff off of here. Oh my gosh. Woo! Alright. Having a party. Ugh. All right, so this is something else that I did with the blue Payette yarn, and this is a shawl, and this is a technique where you build it up from the bottom. Some shawls you chain the length that you want, and then as you're crocheting it, you decrease it on each side, which makes the triangle shape. But this one starts with 1 stitch, and then the 1 stitch becomes 2 stitch, and then 3 stitches, and then 4 stitches, and then it just gets wider and wider and wider and wider. So that's how this one was made, from the bottom up. And I think at one time there were scarves that were very popular that were made that way. I just need to fix this tassel. I think a tassel is appropriate for this, so I'm gonna fix that. But yep, that's my my rave review on the Payette yarns, Loops and Threads Payette. They had another one that was copper like this and the sequences, and they stopped making it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I cannot get that yarn. I would love to have that yarn. So I'm not gonna give up though. Maybe I can find it somewhere. Maybe somebody has a stash and they're willing to negotiate. But yeah, this is really beautiful yarn, and it's lightweight. You know, let me see what it's made from. I think it's like a cotton. It's kind of a cotton. Gosh, I'm gonna have to turn on the light. The lights, I can read this. It's gonna ruin that ambience. Yeah, too much lights. Okay, so what is this? What is this? This is what is this made from? Oh, okay, so it's acrylic, polyester, and 4% other. 84% acrylic, 12% polyester, and 4% other. But it feels like a cotton yarn. So you know, it's good. It's cross seasonal, meaning you can wear it in the summer. It's light enough for the summer, and it's thin enough so it's not bulky like your regular just 100% acrylic yarn. So it's good for summer, and it's also warm enough, you know, so that you can wear it as a scarf, because you can you know, fold it up, roll it up. I like to just roll this up. There's so many different ways to wear this. You can roll it up, and you know, once it's all bunched up like that, it's really quite warm. So yeah, so that's my my review on these novelty yarns. I've got a lot of other novelty yarns. They're fun to work with, give me a lot of different ideas of stuff to do, but this has become my favorite. I would just love to find the copper one like this with the sequences, because it's quite a different look. You know, it's quite a different look. This is just the metallic threads around the color, the brown. So that's a different look. I still like this. Is very pretty too. So, but this with the sequences, out of sight. All right. So, hope you enjoyed that little preview of one of my favorite yarns. Thanks for watching. Bye.